The year was 2006, and Toronto became privy to what has since been called mighty cool, wonderful, adrenaline dripping, a must-see event. The Toronto After Dark Film Festival was born. The festival showcased the best sci-fi, horror, and fantasy films not yet seen by Toronto audiences. In 2007, the festival returned, bringing genre film fans more of what they desired most. And it continued, year after year, supplying genre film fans with some of the greatest Canadian and international horror, sci-fi, action, and cult movies available. But 2011 saw something different. Along with the standard films, audiences were also treated to the diaper rating. But where did this diaper rating come from? What did it mean? Many speculated, perhaps it was a rating of how shitty the movies were. Perhaps it was the opposite and just rated how good a movie was, man. We figure it's a combination of the two. The diaper rating indicated how many diapers you were going to fill with your own filth. That's right, how many times would you shit your pants due to the thrills, chills, and spills on screen? This is Toronto After Dark 2011.
Give it up for the filmmakers of The Legend of Beaver Dam! And they so wanted to be here tonight that one of them is stuck in Montreal, one of them is somewhere in the States, and they sent really wonderful best wishes. And they knew you would be the perfect crowd for this film. It's played a couple of times in Toronto, but I don't think I've ever heard it with an audience quite this electrifying. And speaking of electrifying audiences and electrifying movies, it gives me great pleasure to welcome to the stage a filmmaker who is based here locally up in Ontario. It's great to have, for the very first time at Toronto After Dark, a locally made film is our opening gala. It's always been one of the things I've wanted for at our festival. And this year we don't just have one Canadian feature film, we have 5 Canadian feature films. So let's give it up for all Canadian filmmakers. We have 6 great films this year, a record 5. And opening night, very special privilege and honor to welcome Jesse Cook. Jesse, come on out. It's so great to have
you. Thank you all for coming tonight. As Adam said, it's a banner year for Canadian genre film. A lot of filmmakers I know are in the crowd tonight. Yeah, 5 Canadian films in the festival. That's it's a good sign for things to come. Just like to give a few shout-outs. We started raising money a couple years ago in the recession, and as you all know, it's really tough in Canada, but we found just a wonderful group of people up near Collingwood who supported us and believed in us. So to our investors who are here tonight, this night's for you. To our crew, it was basically a small collection of high school friends who came back to Collingwood for a summer. We were in a sweaty old warehouse with a big graveyard set, and a lot of people we met along the way who joined us. So for the crew and all your sacrifices, this night's for you too. To our families, you guys are all here as well, and you guys sacrifice our wives, our partners, our kids. And I just want to say to our families and to Allison, this night's for you as well. And finally, for the fans, we made this movie for you guys. Just have a lot of fun with it. We've toured it all over the world. I encourage you to cheer for the monsters you love and adamantly boo the ones you don't. Yeah, we've taken it to Montreal and Sweden. It's been in Norway, Vienna, France, USA. We just got back from Sitges, Spain. And it's just such a great honor to be here for our homecoming at Toronto After Dark. And I'd like to present Adam with the Monster Brawl official championship belt. He's actually been the biggest champion of the film. We met 3 years ago. And Adam, it's such an honor to have, for you to have us here tonight. So I'd like to give this belt to you.
I have a couple things on my mind, and you all need to hear about them. First of all, I think this festival is atrocious. You're the worst director that I have ever worked with. And this audience is filled with nothing more than deviant, pervert, horror movie loving more. Tweet about it. Very impressive. And furthermore, this belt should be mine because I am the only reason that this movie is a success. Who else do they have in the movie? Art Hindle? Dave Foley? Thanks for showing up. Who else is here? Jimmy Hart? Oh, Jimmy Hart, the wrestling legend. Yeah, if by legend you mean a talentless hack who should have retired a long time ago. He ain't nothing but a 7-foot-tall dummy. That's exactly what Robert Maillet is. Well, what is this music? What are you going to do, play me out? Yeah, that's creative. I really care about that. That's just fighting me up. I'm the champion. I'm your star. This movie is a
Does anybody have the microphone? If they don't, we had this so planned out. It was so wonderful. They said, Jimmy, you don't come down till they hit the drums. I went in for the drums. Big man came out before the drums. And now the villain walked out with the megaphone. Go ahead.
Are you done?
I don't know what he said, but I'm agreeing to it.
Thank you all for coming and enjoy Monster Brawl.
A couple of quick things. I think y'all sit through the longest short documentary I've ever seen in my life. But that's okay, it was great. A couple of things. My main man on the merchandise table, I have to get this in. This is a commercial spot. They've got Monster Brawl t-shirts and posters and Jimmy Hart pictures. We're going to be autographing everything. We're going to take pictures when it's over. Stay as long as you want to, okay? That's number one. Number two, the popcorn. Charlie, on the popcorn out here, is it not delicious or not, huh? Yes, I love the popcorn. Thanks for the theater for letting us do this tonight. And I still want my Toronto After Dark t-shirt, okay? You promised me, okay? Keep supporting me. A couple of things. First of all, Jesse, thank you for letting me be part of this. I haven't seen it, so I'm afraid to watch it, and I don't know if I was that good in it or not. I probably wasn't, but thank you for the camera work. I'm sure it came out okay. But first of all, thank you guys so much. We love you so much. I used to come here for Jack Tunney back in our WWE days. Maple Leaf Gardens, the long wooden platform that went all the way out to the ring. For a lot of the girls here that didn't go to wrestling, I'm going to make this short and sweet, so I won't bore you to death with this. But for the guys that used to go watch us, for the Honky Tonk Man and Hulk and the Hart Foundation, everybody, we love you guys. Toronto has been special. We want you to have fun. We want you to scream and yell, but please, for God's sakes, don't body slam anybody, okay? So step on your seatbelts and get ready for Monster Brawl, baby!
And we'll be back for a Q&A with the stars and filmmakers behind Monster Brawl. Enjoy the movie and make lots of noise!
They've been out there for centuries, lurking in the shadows, rotting in our stories and myths, and buried in our nightmares. For the time will come when monsters will shape the fortunes of all.
Good evening, monster fans in Canada, Newfoundland, and the United States of America.
Dave Foley, Art Hindle, Robert Maillet, Kevin Nash, Jimmy Hart, Herb Dean, Jason Brown, featuring Cyclops, the Mummy, Lady Vampire, Zombie Man, Witch Bitch, Swamp Gut, Werewolf, Frankenstein. 8 legendary monsters from around the world summoned to the ring to determine the most powerful monster of all time.
I'm gonna be late for the Monster Brawl!
It's the ultimate fight of the living dead.
He's gotta throw everything at this fat son of a bitch!
Monster Brawl.
Anyone who watches Monster Brawl is going home in a body bag.
Give it up for the Monster Brawl! Now, we don't like that. It's not something you see every day made in Hollywood. We're really, really excited to welcome the filmmakers back to the stage and here to introduce them. Please give it up for the director, Jesse Cook. Jesse! One more big round of applause for Jesse! We're multi-hyphenate. Where are all the hyphens on this film?
There's a flamenco guitar player named Jesse Cook as well, so I go with my middle name.
No, I mean, but in this film, you had like a whole bunch of hats that you wore. I mean.
Oh yeah, with various hats. That's just the way we had to do it. I mean, it was a lot cheaper to have us do everything than to pay. I mean, instead of paying an editor, we just learned how to edit and edit.
Do you want to bring up some of your?
Yeah, I'd like to bring up Robert Maillet, Jimmy Hart, Jason Brown, R.J. Skinner, John Geddes, Matt Willis. Yeah, Art Hindle wasn't able to make it. He's actually coming tomorrow night for X of Humanity, but he sends his best. He's been with us in Calgary and Montreal, so.
Fantastic. Monster Brawl. And Jimmy, come on over here. We gotta have you take. I've got a t-shirt for you. Right over there. There's your t-shirt.
Guard it with your life.
There we go. So guys, let's just talk about how you all got involved in this. That's an obvious question. Jesse, first of all, where did this crazy idea come from? The idea of mixing up monsters and wrestling?
It was just one of those situations sitting with Jay Brown here and just talking, shooting the shit of who would win in a fight if, fill in the blank. And it sort of just spiraled from there. John, Matt, and myself started the company a couple of years ago and raised all the finances. And we raised the money without really knowing what the hell we were going to shoot. We just knew we needed the money. And we were going to make 2 films, and it sort of developed over a couple months of figuring out who would fight who and all that fun stuff.
So my understanding, this is one of the first times some of the people who put money into your film are seeing it on the big screen. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
What do you think? I think very well spent. Let's bring on some of your other folks that got involved in this. Matt and John, you guys are also involved behind the scenes. Do you want to talk about your involvement?
Yeah, I grew up with these two guys. We've kind of known each other since we were this big, and there's a lot of people here who have known us since we were this big here. And it's very exciting for us. It's our homecoming. We were, as we said, we were in Sweden a couple weeks ago, Spain, LA, and just got back here, which we've been the most excited for. So we're just really thankful to be here, and we all just started it on kind of this crazy idea that we could pool all our different talents, which has seemingly worked out. So everybody who is here, just again, I just want to thank the investors again, because without that foundation, none of this would have been possible in the end. So thank you to everybody who came out.
Don't spend all the money.
I think all the money
already did.
or it will be at the bar tonight. Sorry. Do you want to talk about your involvement, John? Very quick.
Sure. Well, Jesse, Matt, myself have known each other for as long as I can remember. But I think what's important to say is we got to hand it to the cast and crew that made this film, because everyone put in 300%, 15 hours a day to make this film. And I'm talking about the Gore brothers, Jason Brown, Devin Lunge is here, our whole entire crew, our DPs, Toby Callahan, our co-producer, who lives, breathes, and yeah, I mean, there's so many people to thank. Everyone knows who they are, but our entire cast and crew is responsible for making this film, and of course, Jesse Cook's vision behind it all was, you know, the genesis. But yeah, we had an amazing team. So, cheers, Dylan.
Now let's talk to some of the monsters. All right, starting off with you, big guy. You got the microphone right there. What was it like working with these crazy Collingwooders?
Well, it was, they were great guys to work with, obviously. They're big wrestling fans, and they have a passion for the film, the story they wanted to tell. So it was fun being on set every day. Even though it was hard for me, because the makeup, it was 3 hours of makeup, and I had to wear these god-awful eye contacts. And so it was, you know, like you said, long days, you know, but those guys made it worthwhile. And being on set, the crypt, the cemetery, the ring, the makeup, it was great. It was a lot of fun to get into it and play a killer.
What a fantastic killer he was. Give it up for Frankenstein. Robin Maillet.
Thank you.
Let's hear from Wolfman.
Yeah, I got a call because I know Matt and I know Matt's family, and he said, "Oh, we're doing this movie and it's monsters fighting. You're gonna be the werewolf." And I said, "Yeah, that sounds great." And I hung up the phone thinking that this shit isn't happening. There's no way this is gonna happen. But they got the ball rolling, and I got some people I knew: Rico, who was the zombie man; Kelly, who was the vampire; and Holly, who was Witch Bitch. She was awesome.
Witch Bitch, come on!
So yeah, and they were like, we're getting Jimmy Hart and Kevin Nash and Robert Maillet's Frankenstein, and it's like, I couldn't even dream of being in a movie with people that I watched growing up. So it was all, everything was incredible. So yeah.
Awesome. Let's hear from Kelly. What was it like getting involved with this film?
I have very minimal to say. I got to punch the director and kill her bean.
And let's bring it over here to the man behind of many masks. You want to tell us all the different characters you played?
Oh, goodness. I played the Cyclops and the Swamp God and that old man, and I think I was supposed to play the forklift driver that got his neck broke by the mummy, but I was tired from Swamp God that day, so... Oh yeah, well, yeah. We built this. Yeah, I built the sets. I obviously had help. I already knew Matt Griffin, Matt a small art department.
Jason Brown.
Yeah, it was just a ton of fun. We just wanted to make a movie, and I'll never forget the night. It was like a dream come true. Because every day we come up with a new movie. You know, it's like, oh, what if we make a movie about this, or you know, the next day, what if we make a movie about that? But Cook was at my house one night. And he's like, what if we make a movie about just like monsters fighting in a pay-per-view event, but it's like real. So, yeah, I was sold. You know, I started drawing monsters right away, and every night I'd look forward to when we'd talk about who was going to be in it and what monster was going to fight who, and that's just how it all started, just having fun. That's it.
Cheers. That's awesome. Let's talk to the Matt himself. Tell us of your involvement and how these guys roped you in.
Well, you know what happened? Jesse called me and I said, who's the distributor going to be? And he goes, Anchor Bay. He said, have you seen Hellraiser? And I said, I love it. He said, what about Halloween? I said, I'm in, baby. Feet don't fail me now. So then I went all the way up here and saw I had the greatest time, and really everybody just watching it a while ago. It's the first time I've really seen it, and so it's really awesome. So thank you once again, Jesse. Thank you for everybody on this stage, and thank you guys too for coming out tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is unbelievable. You know, I've done so much in the crazy world of wrestling, been on the WrestleManias and the Hall of Fame ring and everything, but this is really important to me because it's really, besides back before y'all were born, a little movie called Bikini World with Deborah Watley and Tommy Kirk, a beach movie. This is the first thing I've really ever done, so I've enjoyed it. So thank you guys so much for coming out. Thank you.
Jimmy Hart on the day. I mean, you didn't eat anything. You looked at me. You said, "I don't want to be a tax on the production in any way." You tell all your other actors, Jimmy Hart here. He didn't eat anything, and he was on time. And I even looked over, and Jimmy was like carrying the props with Jimmy, and you were just part of the crew.
It's all good.
We are pushed for time because we have done something we have never done in the history of Toronto After Dark. This film sold out so fast, we added for the very first time a second screening of Monster Brawl. And after this screening, if you guys want to tweet and post to your friends, there will be some tickets available still at the door for the, technically it's a 9:45 show, but it's getting pretty close to that. But if your friends get down here even for 10 o'clock, they will get a chance to see Monster Brawl gala screening, second presentation. And these guys are going to be sticking around for that. So that's really exciting. They'll be sticking around for an introduction, but they want to join you at the after party. And that's where I know a lot of you have questions, and that's unfortunately all the time we have time for tonight here on stage. But you can get autographed t-shirts from Jimmy. You can get autographs from the cast and crew at the after party, which is happening straight after this screening. And we're going to basically be beginning that in about 1 minute's time. We're going to just head on down to Nocturne, which is just down Queen Street. It's in your program guides and in your flyers. Just a 10-minute walk. The cast and crew are going to be there. Some of them are going to be staying just to introduce the second film. The rest of them will be there for 10 o'clock. So join us at the after party. Are you going to be heading there right now, aren't you?